That's a head fake.
Oh.
I wasn't going to say it. I was going to say that's a Flarkin head fake.
Wow. Bit. She's a beaut.
Very excited about Star Wars.
I know you are.
Floor is yours.
You want to start it off?
I'll start it off. I liked
Okay.
your thing. Let's go, but we'll go back and forth.
All right, sounds good, man.
We're back.
Sup?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back. It's the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, still sitting firmly in the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. It's season 2. We're great. We're great. We are great. And it's great to be back with you. I'm Israel Wright, former Green Beret. With me, as always and forever.
Thank you, Izzy. What's going on, people? So excited to be back in your speakers, in your cars. My name is Cameron Fath, and we are very excited because we're back.
Yeah, it's fun.
Feet firmly planted on the floor.
All of you have been waiting weeks.
Patiently.
Cameron and I see each other almost every day, so it feels like no time has passed for us.
I gotta get away from you.
Can't stand this guy.
I can't stand you anymore. Jesus
Christ,
Christ!
you're holding me back, man.
I know. I have actually a giant voodoo doll with your face on it.
Yeah.
I just stab every
time I go
to
for
bed.
some business opportunity, I try to do a power clean. You're there. You're like stabbing me.
You know that pain you feel in your liver? Yeah, that's me.
Oh man, Cameron!
But we're back, and we're super excited because this podcast is so much fun to make, and we actually planned these out really strategically initially, and it might have been a long time for y'all, but it was even longer for us.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I'm sure you are too, buddy.
I'm worried that everyone's going to start cheating on us and find another podcast that sits at the intersection of weapons, action, military, and pop culture by two other military veterans.
And if we find out, fucking got you.
Savage Actual, Jason and Patrick, we know you're gunning for us.
Yeah, we know it. PS5, really? Just kidding.
Way to do a raffle. Really original idea. Oh, doing Millsoft events.
Ooh. No, we love them.
We got to do a collab with them sometime.
Yeah, we do.
Savage
that's
Actual,
on the
go check them
calendar.
out. They're great guys.
Yeah, Savage Actual, awesome dudes. We're gonna do something with them. Something. Well, I don't know what, but
it's gonna be great.
Write that
it's
down.
Gonna be awesome. It's gonna be Savage and Field Manual like. I don't know, just try to combine our stuff.
Well, we want to develop this podcast, and we want to, add things, take some things away.
Absolutely.
So we have a couple things we'd like to say before we start today's topic, which is he real? Is he real?
Yeah.
Is he real? Is he real?
Yeah.
The boogeyman. Israel/Izzy. He's very excited about this because he's super nerd.
Yeah, we're trying a new format. You won't hear this at the top of every episode, but we're not going to do it at the end anymore, like our socials and stuff. So this is the new format. We're going to say hi, introduce ourselves, and then every once in a while, we'll say this. We release a new we'll say it better than that. We release a new episode every week. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can head on over to buymeacoffee.com/PCFMpodcast. You can shoot us an email at pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you, your questions and episode suggestions. Yeah. If you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I'm at twitch.tv/myhappyself and on Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to support Cameron,
you guys can head over to kickgodapparel.com, or you can go over to the Instagram page, kickgodapparel. Now that that's done with, today's topic, Star Wars.
Ladies and gentlemen, this if all things go according to plan, you're listening to this on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day. We're here to talk about the epic space saga from a galaxy far, far away. A long time ago. I said that wrong. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
So technically this happened in the past.
Yeah, actually this is like ancient history for us.
Really?
Ancient, and these people aren't even technically humans, right? Because none of them, no one's from Earth. It's a galaxy far, far away and a long time ago.
I wonder if they ate ass back then.
I mean, humanoids are carbon-based life forms are carbon-based life forms.
Terrible tendencies. Where have we fallen from humanity?
Yeah.
People will not eat the brown part on a banana, but they eat each other's buttholes.
So supposedly the fallen nature of man expands beyond this mortal realm, this earthen plane, to other galaxies far away, where people do horrible things to each other. I mean, we know the Emperor is the embodiment of evil, so what he does in the dark of night.
In the dark of night. Yeah, he doesn't shoot lightning from his fingertips on a whim.
No. You got to get that power from somewhere.
Exactly. Well, I know, I've seen the movies. There's a lot behind it. I like lore. That's why I'm such a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Yep.
But I enjoy reading the actual Star Wars history, and I like how a specific series or a TV show or a movie actually has more behind it, and you're like, there's more than meets the eye in the universe, and you can keep building off of it. What is I'm super excited about the new Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Mm-hmm. I like that. The time is really cool. I mean, the time it's set.
That was the air conditioner. I just turned the air conditioner off. I'm sorry. We're unprofessional. We're off to a great start.
Sorry, it's been a while. But yeah, I like that story. I think it's really cool how they are able to go in specific periods of time and portray it in the movie. But if you want to learn more, you can read into it, and there's an actual years and years and years and years of Star Wars shit.
Well, that's one of the things about Star Wars is that it has been around for 40 plus years, right? First movie came out in 1977, A New Hope, and it has been this kind of cultural phenomenon, right? It has influenced so many people across at least we're 3 generations in now, the kids that saw it in the theater, they've had kids, and even some of their kids have had kids now.
Yeah.
So the lore of Star Wars is vast. It's as vast as, I know since Disney bought it, they have what's called canon, and they exclude all the books and all. It's not canon anymore, but the Star Wars universe, I think one of the great things about it is that it's such fertile ground for people's imaginations, because the original trilogy kind of drew upon some kind of timeless and universal aspects of human nature, like the Joseph Campbell hero's journey kind of thing, kind of iconic imagery and stuff. Oh yeah, this is
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh man, George Lucas, George Lucas grew up in Modesto, small town, came to USC Film School, right? And, Joseph Campbell, I think, was one of his professors. And so what he did with the first trilogy, or at least the first movie, certainly. Well, the first trilogy, I think, as well. But
sorry, who's Joseph Campbell?
Joseph Campbell was a writer. I forget exactly what he was into, but anthropology, studying different cultures and finding out what was different and what was the same. And he has a couple books one was called The Power of Myth. The other one was called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And so I'm going to get this wrong. You guys let us know in the comments section. Write us an email. But the idea of humanity, right? The human story. Are there universal and timeless aspects about different to humanity, to being human, that you can see in different cultures, no matter what they are?
It's human nature across the board.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of background and stuff.
Exactly, and you can see those things reflected in the stories that we tell. And so, you ever heard the hero's journey kind of thing? That's definitely a Joseph Campbell type thing, where there's different steps to it. I think there's 6 different steps. There's there's the mundane life, Luke Skywalker, right? Then there's the call, the wizard, Obi-Wan comes and he's you can be a Jedi. And then there's maybe denial of the call, and then there's the inciting incident that kind of gets him out the door. And then there's the adventure, and there's all this kind of thing.
That's the roadmap of every adventure movie ever.
Exactly.
No, I don't want to do it. This event happens to me where I have to do it.
Right.
Now I'm doing it.
Exactly. And it's not the only aspect of a good story, but any good story, movie, book, anime, all that kind of stuff, usually most of the time that stuff's in there. That's that hero's journey where they go and they fight the dragon, they win the day, and then they come back home and they're a different person, right? They've had that arc,
Well, let me ask you, speaking of the original Star Wars, why in the hell did it come out 4, 5, 6 first?
Okay, so
why did they do that?
George Lucas was a big fan of the old 1930s and 40s. They were called serials. It was little episodes of the same adventure, and I don't know if they showed them before other movies, or you would go to the movies and it would be a bunch of these, but that's how it was. There's what I think it was I don't know if it was Buck Rogers or whatever, but there's episode, they would do short vignettes and stuff, and they would only be so many minutes long, and it'd be come back next time for the next episode of so and so in space or whatever. And so he was a fan of those, and so he wanted to do something like that. And so that's why he had that episode. It's like you're coming into the middle of a story that's happening. You're coming into episode 4, A New Hope, And there's this controversy. I don't know where he lands on it or the fans, but like, did he have the whole story all written out, or did he just kind of have this story written out, and then later on when he decided to do the prequel trilogy, like he figured that out, like people say, oh, you didn't really connect them up, and this thing doesn't make sense over here. And he's like, no, I had it all planned out. I forget. There's a lot of conversation and controversy about it, but that he was trying to bring back like the old serials of the 1930s and 40s and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes kind of sense. Didn't he have no idea that it was going to be that big? They kind of thought it was going to be a failure, right?
Oh, you know what? That's an interesting question. I think there was a lot of stuff of like them not the studio not like trusting him or going, like there was one guy, I forget what his name is, but he really went to bat for George Lucas, saying, hey, got to help this dude out. It's going to be great, And no, I don't think anybody. I think the idea of a blockbuster movie started with Star Wars. Like it was just, and I think it actually, when it came out, it like there was no like premiere. It just kind of came out one weekend. And people saw it, and then they told their 2 friends, and they told 2 friends, and it just became this. And they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And I think it stayed in the movie theaters for like a year and a half or 2 years or something like that.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it just didn't go, and it made so much money. And George Lucas, that was one of the businessy things that he did back in the day, was that he retained, I think, merchandising rights. Like he took a pay cut at the time. He's like, I want to retain the merchandising rights to, like the characters, so I can sell toys and all that kind of stuff and make my money that way.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the best move he could have ever made, because now he's a billionaire.
Yeah. Like
I know people that saw it 9 times in theaters.
At the time, in theaters?
My parents saw it in 1977 9 times and kept taking brand new friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like that,
What was your first experience? Did you see it in the theaters?
No, I was born in 80. So the first one came out in 1977. I think the second one in 79, and then the third one in 81.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the holiday special came out in 78, which George Lucas doesn't like to talk about. But well, let's talk about that. Actually, that's one of the questions I had for us. Yeah. Is what was your first exposure to Star Wars? Period.
Oh man, like I could not tell you.
I'll tell you mine.
It was that impactful. Huh?
It was like early 80s, and my first clear memory of it was we were living at my grandma's house at the time in like 84, 85, and it was a transitional period. We were moved out of Lake Elizabeth, California, moving into Lake Castor, California, and we were living with her for like a couple weeks. She had a VHS copy of the original A New Hope, and I would watch it, and then I would rewind the tape back when you had to rewind VHS tapes, and then I would watch it again. I'd watch it 3-4 times in a day because it was like summer and I didn't want to go out and play. And so I would just watch this movie like over and over again. So that was like my first, I don't remember a time in my life where there wasn't Star Wars. Like I remember we had Star Wars sheets. I think I had Star Wars underwear at the time, like little Chewbacca underwear and stuff. But yeah, I remember those movies and yeah, that was a big part of my life. I didn't play any, as far as video games, I didn't play any Star Wars games until like the
You didn't
Super
play
Nintendo.
like the original like Battlefront, right? Was that one? The original one?
Yeah, the original Battle, but I'm talking about like Super Nintendo days, like
Oh my
early
God.
90s. Like they had Super Star Wars, which was a lot of fun.
Played a lot of Lego Star Wars.
Super hard, yeah. I've never played any Lego Star Wars.
They're fun. They're very entertaining.
Well, now wait a minute, man. You were born a little
95.
bit after me, 95.
Yeah.
What do you remember about the sequel trilogy? Do you remember going to the theater and seeing those as a kid?
I remember. I know for a fact that I saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters because I remember that was like a big deal, and that's when they were doing like the 12 o'clock showings at like your local movie theater.
The midnight showings.
Yeah,
the
midnight one. So I remember going to the midnight showing of Revenge of the Sith because it was like a huge deal because they're like, this is the last Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be a lie. But
well, the last George Lucas one.
yeah, I'm trying to think because I don't know. I think the first Star Wars I ever saw was Phantom Menace.
Okay.
And then like after seeing that, they're like, 4, 5, and 6 were first, and I'm just like, I don't know.
And you hadn't seen them?
I don't
when
think
did you
I
see
saw
those.
I don't know. Did there used to be a movie just about the not the Wookiees, but the little what are they
the
called?
Ewok Adventures.
The Adventures of the Ewoks.
Those are old. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Battle
watching
for
those.
Endor and Caravan of Adventure, I think were the two.
Yeah, I remember
Straight to
watching
TV
those. They were series or movies?
Two TV movies.
TV movies. Okay, then yeah, I watched those.
All
Because
right,
I
cool.
remember saying, for some reason, I was like, yeah, they had their own things. And but I think the first one that I saw was Phantom Menace, because that came out. It looks like it says here 1999. But that would make me 4 years old, and I doubt that I was in the movie theater, paying
Any attention.
paying attention to what's going on. But I remember, for a fact, watching Attack of the Clones, and because Attack of the Clones, that's where they have like Obi-Wan Kenobi like fight in the and what's her name?
Padme?
Padme fighting in the arena.
The arena, yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
they have that big like battle in there. I remember seeing that in theaters, so that was confirmed, and then the third one. So
Cool.
But what out of those? What's your favorite Star Wars?
Oh, the
movie?
prequel trilogy?
No, I'm saying just out of all Star Wars.
Out of all of them?
Yeah.
Out of-
What's your favorite?
The
one?
films?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's kind of cheesy because like within the annals of the debate when it comes to Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back is like critically acclaimed as like the greatest Star Wars film, and I would have to say that's probably my favorite because it's the one that has stuck with me the longest and the hardest. I love A New Hope because that was the first one I ever saw, and it just left a indelible mark upon me. For those that like to look up their thesauruses. But no, I mean, I think out of all of them, what's funny, man? Maybe I'm just trying to like be like a shill for my Twitch community, but my Twitch community is a lot younger than I am, and so they grew up with the prequel trilogies, and they love the prequel trilogies, and I've come to have a newfound respect for Revenge of the Sith in particular.
Really,
And I've watched a couple of YouTube videos. I need to watch YouTube videos to gain a deeper understanding of anything. Yeah. So I do like Revenge of the Sith, but no, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Yeah.
I am actually not a fan of the 4, 5, 6, the original trilogy,
right,
because
fair.
I think Luke Skywalker is a whack ass Jedi.
How so? Do tell.
I think he's just terrible.
Do tell.
I don't think he's like a warrior type. I think he's whiny. I think I don't think he's good. I just don't think he's like, the master that everybody critically acclaims him to be, especially moving on to like 7 and 8 and then in the Mandalorian things. I'm like, yeah, he's a broke ass, whack ass Jedi. I don't like him.
Now tell me your opinion of The Last Jedi, because that's a very controversial movie where he's like giving up on life. He came.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's exactly why I didn't like him. I'm like, he's whiny, like I think he's lame. He's lame. I'd be like, you're the last dude on Earth. I'd be like, you suck. Man. I don't want to be a Jedi. If I
See,
don't
man, that hurts my heart only because I wish that The Last Jedi did not exist as a movie.
Yeah, it was
I wish
not a good
Rian
movie.
Johnson had never made that film. Like, Rian Johnson is great at making like Knives Out type films that like subvert your expectations or whatever. But like, he has a certain sentiment or a certain he has a certain idea of the kinds of films that he likes to make, and I just don't think that fits well in the Star Wars universe. Like whatever it might have been, whatever that second movie might have been, I just wish it wasn't The Last Jedi, because I hate that movie.
You hate it?
Yeah, I hate it.
That's
on
a
an
straw.
emotional and personal level. Like I'm not like a film critic and stuff, and I'm sure that I've watched YouTube videos that break down why it's a good film, and I don't know that I have a lot to say in that direction. I'm like, well, I guess I still hate that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I just can't get over it.
Yeah.
So
no, I think I don't like Luke Skywalker as a character. I think he's super lame.
that's what I like about that opinion is I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Really?
I'm sure there are a lot of people that don't like Luke Skywalker, but I appreciate that because I mean Luke Skywalker is hailed in movie cinema history as like one of the greatest archetypal characters of all time.
Really? I think he's lame as hell, man.
The reason they say that is because the Joseph Campbell's thing, like throughout the course of 3 movies, you see him develop as a character, from like the little.
I mean, that's
naive
storytelling
farm boy.
though, and I'm talking just from like a warrior spirit type of thing. Like I do not see him as a threat.
Yeah.
Physically and like emotionally, I just don't think he's like. I don't think he's the cat like cat's pajamas, dude. I don't.
Well, what about so in all the Star Wars universe, who is your favorite character that embodies that kind of warrior?
Anakin
Skywalker.
Absolutely. Cutthroat. Brutal.
Cutthroat,
Kills
brutal.
kids. Brutal.
He kills kids?
Yeah, dude, he's merciless.
Little kid killer, little younglings?
Well, I think rationally, because like he even I mean it's kind of fucked to say because that scene is like he's just like
and that wasn't the first time too because he killed that entire village of the desert people, the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, like the dude handles his shit. Like he's intimidating. Like I think Anakin would whoop Luke Skywalker's ass if they were like weren't cut from
young
the same.
Anakin and like current
young
Luke Skywalker.
Like it's more specifically like basically when he turns into Darth Vader.
Right.
But I still think Obi-Wan Kenobi is a better Jedi than Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm thinking like warrior status, like Obi-Wan Kenobi is like a sage, he's like sage, super wise, and then Yoda's obviously a legend too.
Yeah.
But I think Anakin's just like young, dumb, full of cum, like ready to go. Yeah.
Are you excited for Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I am. It looks great.
At the time of this recording, folks, it has not come out. So
it has not come out. Not to timestamp this podcast.
Yeah.
But
gotta keep it evergreen.
No, but honestly, my favorite movie out of all of them. Did I already answer that question?
No.
I think out of the first 6 was Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Because I think Darth Maul was the coolest character to bring. Like the dude, like double lightsabered up, didn't say a word.
Yep.
Like he
says
had
like one line.
One line.
The entire movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a couple words.
At
right?
last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have our revenge.
Yeah, I think they should do something with Darth Maul.
And that wasn't even Ray Park's voice.
Yeah, no, they voiced over. They dubbed him, right?
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was pointing to my nose and I had a booger in it.
Oh yeah, probably.
Keep
Sorry. They dubbed him, right?
Yeah, it was some British actor.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think Darth Maul was a badass character. Plus, the first one has Liam Neeson in it, which is they give him a terrible haircut. They like recede his hairline, even though he's much younger in the movie. Yeah, it's nuts.
You know what? The thing about that I appreciate from my perspective is up to that point, we had gotten the special edition, right? Where George Lucas had gone back and kind of remastered the old movies and added a bunch of special effects that do not age well. But at that, when I remember seeing the first trailer for the Phantom Menace, and it was like it had been 20 years since we had a new Star Wars movie, and this was like going to go back and explain the lore of like Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader's origin, and stuff like that. I remember the hype that was surrounding that movie, and I remember the day I went and saw that. Like I got there like at noon for a midnight showing, so I was like 12, and I was the first one in the theater because all the teenage punks in front of me had let a bunch of people in, and the staff had gotten mad at them, and they held them aside and they let everybody else go in first, and so that meant I was the first one in the theater. So
very cool. Yeah. Well, the thing about the older movies too, I don't think they gave Darth Vader like a cool rep either, because he's supposed to be like one of the strongest Sith Lords like in existence, right? Mm-hmm. And during the the lightsaber battles in like four with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, and then at the end he's not like athletic, he doesn't look like a beast or anything. It's just like old special effects. What did it justice for me, and this is one of my Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie.
At the very end,
yeah, when Darth Vader comes and he murders people. Like people are like screaming in pain and like running, and he's like literally just like slaughtering people. Like that was the scene that gave Darth Vader like
that was total fan service.
Oh, total.
Man.
That's like
that was like, listen, guys, we get it.
Yeah, like we need to make him like this.
Yeah,
and that like did it for me. And I think Rogue One, that's my favorite Star Wars movie that has came out. Mm-hmm. Because they haven't made a Mandalorian movie.
No. What about speaking of Darth Vader? I mean, did you watch Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the last fight between him and Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. I mean, what did you think about those fights in terms of, even...
I don't know. I don't know if it was just because, like, they were, it's not with the times, and there wasn't, like, a real...
action was different back then.
Action was different back then,
People had a different expectation.
Yeah, now it's like we have the ability to make these crazy battles.
We're post-Matrix, post the Raid redemption.
Yeah, like, do all that crazy stuff. I guess it's just with the times, but, like, the newer Star Wars battle, like, all the scenes and the special effects and whatnot, just make it look a little bit more like a sword fight, Back then, they looked like it was planned. Like, it wasn't actually like, he's like, okay, I'm going to swing at you, and you're going to block it.
You want to have a laugh, man. You go and watch those scenes without special effects. Talk about some great acting, man, because they're like...
yeah, because it's...
Only Master of Evil, Darth.
Like pretend swords, right?
Yeah. They didn't even have any. The light wasn't even there. They were just little plastic little dowels.
Yeah, they were just like, take this, ruffian.
Yeah, that's where editing is magic, man. They made it look like they were struggling to survive. There's a scene on YouTube. You have to look it up. It's like scene 56 remixed or something like that, where somebody did actors and they did deep fakes on them.
Yeah.
And they redid it like a Phantom Menace battle. Like they were jumping off the wall and they're going all over the place, and down the hallways and stuff. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate your perspective, man. It's cool talking to somebody who's from a different, kind of different cut.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you think about it like because it all comes down to what are we able to do with the equipment that we have. So like the tech back then.
Sure.
Like the prequel, like especially in 2 and 3 when like they can get away with like actually having like Anakin Skywalker doing like a triple backflip through the air because that's what Jedis do, and that's like. But in the 4, 5, 6 is like they're just regular dudes with laser swords.
Yeah, I think that was what I liked about the Phantom Menace as well, because in the very beginning, you get to see, and throughout the whole movie, you get to see what the Jedi were at their height, like the height of their power, what they were capable of, like the fast lightning runs and jumping up like 20 stories and stuff like that, and throwing their lightsabers around and guiding them and stuff. And
who's your favorite character in the Star Wars universe?
In the Star Wars universe,
yeah.
Man, this is the problem with the sequel trilogy is I'm thinking of characters like the way that I remember them from like the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy and stuff. But, the whole canon idea is like, well, like I could say Han Solo, but I hate Han Solo in The Force Awakens. Like he's a deadbeat failure of a father who's still doing the same old stuff that he was, still riding around the universe in his broke down Cadillac with his drinking buddy, and it's like that was like he was such a suave scoundrel, the whole like cool guy kind of thing. He's like the scoundrel with the heart of gold, swashbuckling dude and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, Han Solo's awesome. I mean, I think Luke Skywalker in episodes 4, 5, and 6 is my favorite character out of like the whole thing, because I've come to appreciate him. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos that have helped me to appreciate his journey in those 3 movies. And then there's this old guy in a robe in the Last Jedi, that I just don't like it. I wish that didn't exist so that people couldn't say, well, that's Luke Skywalker too, and he had this journey, and he had this awakening, and he was gonna give up, even though he never gave up on the most evil dude in the universe, But like he has a thought about the evil inside Kylo Ren. And he thinks about killing him. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, what? You just gave up on him? You just gave up on...
This kid?
Yeah, you see... Well, it's all over with now. You see the evil inside him, but, like, you didn't give up on your father, Like, you actually gave up... Like, that's his whole moment. The baddest
dude in the universe?
Yeah, when he becomes... The moment he becomes a Jedi Knight is when he chooses to not... Like, he throws his sword down, And he's like, I'm a Jedi like my father before me, And I get it. No, I can hear you all talking about The Last Jedi where he force projects himself and he's not actually there. So it's kind of the same thing. No, that's dumb. That's a fuck that.
Oh.
That's a head fake.
Oh.
I wasn't going to say it. I was going to say that's a Flarkin head fake.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
do hate that movie.
I really do hate that movie.
You do.
With a
wow,
very deep
man.
passion, madly do I hate that movie. But
good thing this is going on the internet. So I can constantly replay that back and just get constant satisfaction.
And you will. It'll be your ringtone now.
It will.
So, Cameron, let's talk about, like, newer era Star Wars stuff. Mando, Boba Fett, new stuff coming up, movies, games, things like that. You were mentioning something just now.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it's all speculation, but I think anything that Keanu Reeves is involved in is in your universe, God's gift to humanity. Yeah, there's rumors of Keanu Reeves coming into the Star Wars universe playing what's the character's name?
Darth Revan.
Darth Revan. Yeah, and I'm
from
actually
Knights of the Old Republic 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you ever play that video game?
No.
Oh, so good.
Dude, I used to play. I remember hanging out at my buddy's house growing up, and he would always I think it was the older, I don't even remember the video game. I just know it was so old, and like you could play like a rebel fighter, and you could play like a stormtrooper, and you would start out as like a rifleman.
I think you're talking about just the Old Republic, the MMORPG.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
we'd sit and we'd play.
One?
Yeah, the online one, and we'd play that for hours, and that was fun. And then Lego Star Wars was a big one we used to play as kids. But yeah,
I hear those are good. I haven't played any of those. But.
I like dude. I don't know. I like the Sith characters. Like they're all cool. Like if I was a Jedi, I would probably fall to the dark side.
Fall to the dark side. Man.
Absolutely. I think red lightsabers look way cooler than blue ones. Green is kind of cool. But yeah, no. Speaking of new things, coolest thing is the Oculus, the what is it, the Vader?
Like Path of Vader, like he's got a couple of Vader video games. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're super cool.
I'd want to have I think I'd have like a. I think for my
the Immortal Vader Immortal. If you have a VR system or if you have access to one, play this game. It's so much fun.
I can definitely attest that all three of those games are epic.
Amy has a VR headset too.
I like the third one because like you basically play it and you're able to like use the Force and like hold lightsabers and it's freaking cool.
Nice.
Like you can force choke people and it's
there's an appeal, man. I mean that's the dark side. It's the pull, the allure of the dark side, the power, you know.
It's the power, yeah. No, I think the Sith characters are super cool because they just want to be powerful dudes. And it's they remind me of Rangers. They're just like, we just want to be lethal.
You got to play Knights of the Old Republic. They're actually doing a remaster of Knights of the Old Republic for newer systems. It's the same game. They're just going to update it.
That's cool.
But hopefully they won't change anything about it.
Yeah.
But you actually, at one point, I think it's 1 or 2, but you go undercover and infiltrate the Sith Academy. So it's like the Jedi Academy, but it's for Sith.
That's cool.
And the whole idea is there's always 2, right? So you go through this training, and at the very end, you have to betray your master. Because there's always this back and forth with power between the master and the student with Sith. So it's pretty cool. You might enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah, you have to check that out. That sounds really cool.
And the course of the games, there's a whole, like in Mass Effect, there's a whole, like Paragon or Renegade run. So you can either be a Sith, like an evil person. The choices you make in the game change the outcome of the game.
Oh. Yeah. And which game is this?
This is Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the
1 and 2. There are 2 of them.
1 and 2. That sounds cool, man.
You probably get them on Xbox Game Pass or something like that. But yeah.
I need to get myself a system.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
So I can play Apex. Yeah.
Yes, you can play it all the time.
What about what's your jam with the new ones? What are you exposed to? What do you like? Obviously, you don't like the Last Jedi.
No, I mean, the sequel movies are horrible. I think I'm not a big fan of those. I'm currently playing Republic Commando.
Okay.
On my stream and stuff like that. So that's been a lot of fun. What's been great with my community on Twitch is they all play through these games that I missed over the past 20 years. So like, no, you got to play this, and this. So Republic Commando is a lot of fun. In terms of newer Star Wars, I mean, I'm a real big fan of Mandalorian.
Yes.
I thought it did. One thing that I'd heard a criticism, like when the new trilogies started coming out, is like, is that all we have? Like, is just rehashing bits of the old trilogy and stuff, and like finding like, solos. Like, I don't need to know where the dice came from. I don't care. Come up with new characters. It's literally a galaxy worth of ideas, and you're just talking about. It's the Skywalker saga and all that kind of stuff. So it's
like an entire galaxy, and it's like following the same characters. Yeah. Even in like cross episode, who was the blue bounty hunter? That like
in Boba Fett.
Yeah,
he was in Clone Wars, I think.
Yeah, he was in Clone Wars, and he also reappears in the Bad Batch.
Yes,
and like. It's just this guy's everywhere, and it's really, it's a small world out there, I guess. No, there's so many people, and they're going to different planets, and like I don't know if you like live on Earth. It's like you don't know everybody.
Yeah, it's like it's like living in a small town and never leaving your small town. You know what I mean? Like you got to get out there and like. I guess maybe that would be an argument against the idea of Disney having like canon, like official canon, because you block yourself off from taking all these great ideas from like the books. Yeah. Or like, even fan films. There are some amazing fan films out there where people just make them because they just love Star Wars so much. Yeah. And they come up with really cool characters. And
concepts. I mean, that's why I liked Rogue One so much because, like, it was just a band of hooligans.
Rogue One was cool. That was
it's like a bunch of no-names.
Yeah. 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 And they're all going to die by the end of the film because it's about the stealing of the Death Star plans. But even that, as great as Rogue One was, it's like it was like a throwaway line from the first movie, like many Bothans died finding us these plans. It's like it's a whole movie about that, and they did a good job. But it's like that's the reason why I like The Mandalorian is because he's this guy. He has nothing to do with Jedi. Now he does, obviously, but he's a dude, and he has like this really strict sect that he follows, and so he's like there's like a conflict, of like how can he? It's like Ghost of Tsushima or something like that, which we'll talk about very soon in terms of samurai. But he has a code, but then he's being challenged on should he follow the code, or
Yeah.
is he going to compromise a little bit, you know?
Mm.
And would it be worth it or not, you know? So
Yeah.
Mandalorian is really cool. I'm a big fan of what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing, because they're kind of like they're doing their own thing with Star Wars, and then there's kind of the mainland kind of Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars gang, and they're just doing all the, you know, inclusivity, diversity, inclusion.
Yeah.
So we gotta get
Yeah, no, I really like The Mandalorian. I know we've talked about it on a couple past episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that they, you know, finally dived into something that, you know, just was, you know, scratching the surface in the movies. Because when the movies were coming out, I'd see like stickers of like the Mandalorian sticker on like car windows or something, and I'd be like, nobody knows what that is. Like, it's not elaborated on unless you're like super fan where you're like reading the books and everything. But it's like you didn't understand that, and then the Mandalorian came out, and then I'm like, now I get it. It's an entire religion based on war, and that's when all the bro vets are like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, but even what he follows is like an offshoot of Mandalorian
it's like a
too. It's
cult.
like a super cult. Yeah. Mandalore is a planet, and people you can be from Mandalore and be a Mandalorian, but not be like a warrior or whatever.
Yeah, you be an average
kind of,
Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think they're explored a little bit in Clone Wars too. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but those characters like what's her name from Battlestar Galactica shows up. The other Mandalorians that say, like, we're Mandalorian.
They take off their helmets.
Yeah, they take off their helmets. Like, you're not a Mandalorian. Like, no, we're Mandalorians. You're just in like a cult.
Yeah,
you know?
you're like, no, you.
Katie Sackhoff. You know, her character is in the cartoons in like Clone Wars and stuff like that. So, I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau understand that like they did the Clone Wars and stuff like that, and so they're bringing those characters kind of out. And they understand that like it's a younger generation. There's like the main kind of fandom. I think people like myself are kind of, you know, we're kind of out in the world. We love Star Wars, but they're trying to foster the generation to continue to love Star Wars. So they're bringing in the blue skin guy, and they're bringing in Katie Sackhoff's character. They're bringing in the dark saber and all that kind of lore and mythology into the Mandalorian. And then they're also giving us, I mean, I would like to know exactly why they decided to bring Luke Skywalker in, but I guarantee you there's some part of it that's like, I would hope we hated the way he was presented in The Last Jedi, so we're going to give you something that makes you remember why you loved Luke Skywalker. You know, he's not the bitter old man yet. He's like still a capable Jedi, you know?
Yeah, I'm hoping they do that for me, because I'm like, Luke sucks. But that deep fake is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, especially the in the season 3,
prior,
or no, Boba Fett.
Yeah.
As in, I mean, Mandalorian season 2.5. Because like for 2 episodes, you go and just hang out with
just
Luke
the man.
Skywalker.
And honestly, I'm like, this is the best thing that they could have done for this show.
That
make it the
deepfake
Mandalorian.
Was uncanny, man.
Unbelievable. I remember sitting on the couch like freaking out. My fiance's like, so what? And I'm like, you don't understand.
It's not really him. It's a
not
CGI character.
Yeah, it's literally, dude, it was nuts. And the original thing was when they in the Mandalorian with the first season, it was way worse.
Oh, the season 2 ending.
The season is that season 2?
Yeah, it's when they're on the ship and he comes in.
Yeah, and he comes and gets the little baby Yoda.
Yeah. And you're like, ooh, that's
that's kind of sketchy. But you're like, but still cool. They're trying.
And
then the story was right. There was a guy on YouTube that just decided to deep fake it himself,
and then it
came out like 10 times better. Yeah. And they're like, that's great, you're hired. And they hired that guy, and he did the new deep fake, and it's way better. Cool story. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's like, you want to hear those kinds of inspirational stories.
That way you're like, well, I'm a deep fake something. And maybe like, I'm a deep fake Marvel. And see if Marvel's like, you're hired.
Hire you, yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
The Mandalorian, I think, saved the entire, because after the disaster that were the last.
Hopefully, I don't know. Now I'm curious as to what the movies are going to look like now, because I'm sure it'll have a long and great time on Disney Plus. They're going to bring out all these different, series and stuff like that, but they're going to run out of legacy characters like Obi-Wan and stuff to do. So they're going to have to keep making new characters, like the Mandalorian and all that kind of stuff. But I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the movies next. Like, I would love to see a Knights of the Old Republic movie series. I know that David Benioff and D.B. Weiss of Game of Thrones, they were going to do a movie set in that era, but then season 8 of Game of Thrones came out, and nobody wants to work with them anymore. I don't know the full story, but they're like, oh, we're not about that, like tearing up their contracts and stuff.
You guys are leaving Starbucks coffee cups in the chute? What?
But so I'm interested to see, like I know that there's a couple video games that are coming out. Have you seen that one that guys tell me in the comments section? There's a new Star Wars game where it's like the CGI, it's like the taiko drum dudes are drumming, and it's like the CGI is just
Star Wars Eclipse.
Star Wars Eclipse. There you go. That's it, Aim. That looks just like, I don't even know what that's about, and I just want to be in that world.
That's a video game?
Star Wars Eclipse. Yeah, there you go.
It looks like a movie.
By Quantic Dream. Oh, it's probably going to be one of those multiple choice kind of games where they do like Detroit Becoming Human or Heavy Rain. Dude, I'm all about that, man. Next gen systems. I got it all. I got a PS5 and Xbox Series X. I'm not
cool,
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying. Look, I'm just saying that I got them, I'm just letting all you know,
If you're wondering.
I'm not going to be able to get my head out the door today.
Yeah, I'm better than you.
We
here at PCFM, we're better than you, and we know it.
We know. We're going to tell you.
Yeah.
What about video games? What are some of your favorite video games?
Featuring
It's Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe.
Featuring Star Wars.
By the way, you know what? Can I just ask, because it's probably going to be a real quick conversation. Have you read any of the books?
No, I don't read. I lead. Okay.
I was elected to read. I was elected to lead, not read.
Option 3. No, I want to. I played the Vader, the VR one.
Yep.
Beat it. It's really fast, super fun, awesome. I've played Battlefront, which is a classic, and was like the big thing for a while when the giant war game type video games were coming out. Let's see here. I want to actually play The Force Awakens because that one looks badass. A little bit of an older one.
I played The Force Unleashed. You ever play The Force Unleashed?
I think that's what I'm referring to.
That's like a side story with
Yes.
Starkiller.
Yeah, I want. That's what I mean.
I
want not The Force Awakens. The Force. The Force Unleashed. I want to play that one. Is it fun?
Yeah, it's super fun. The first one's super good. The second one isn't quite as good, but still pretty fun. Okay. But it's cool. It takes place in between basically episode 3 and episode 4, after Revenge of the Sith, but before A New Hope.
Okay.
So Vader has like an apprentice called Starkiller, and he goes out and has his own story. They actually never finished that game series. The second one ends on kind of a cliffhanger where he's actually captured Vader.
Oh, really?
And we're like, we're never going to find out how Vader gets out and what happens. So hopefully they'll...
Apparently it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't had a lot of exposure to the video games. I guess they had, look at this, they had a Star Wars Bounty Hunter video game for PS2. And it looks like it had Mando on it. Not Mando, I'm sorry, Boba. That's interesting. 2002. I'm looking at that. That looks cool. But not a lot of exposure to the video games, except for the Oculus ones and the Old Republic and Battlefront. What about you, dude? What are some?
Well, going in order of games that I've enjoyed, like in my time, obviously I played the. I didn't know there was an NES, a Nintendo Star Wars game. It looks like super janky and weird, but I played the SNES, Super Star Wars. That was a lot of fun. Not the other ones, but then the PC. I didn't play a lot of PC games growing up, but I got a chance to. There was like an internet cafe. There was a place called Electronic Gaming. You've heard me talk about it before in Colorado Springs when I was a teenager. I would go there, and they had computers you could rent by the hour in back. And I played through Jedi Knight, or Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and then Jedi Academy for the PC. Kyle Katarn is like the main character in the first one, and then you get to pick and choose your character in the second one. But those were a lot of fun. It was cool. Kyle Katarn's character was he was a Jedi who had cut himself off from the Force and left the Jedi way, and he became kind of like a mercenary. And then he has to get back into the Jedi ways and get his lightsaber and stuff. And so through the course of the game, Jedi Outcast, you gain more and more powers, and you just end up feeling like really awesome by the end of it,
Of course.
The Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, amazing. Knights of the Old Republic 1 is a classic.
Yeah, that's a classic
game. And then Force Unleashed 1 and 2. And then, like I said, I'm currently playing Republic Commando. I like Republic Commando because the whole deal with the clone troopers, there's a bit of they're kind of a tragic story, because we know that they're all kind of basically activated by Order 66 at the end of Revenge of the Sith. But there's this whole story that they all have throughout the Clone Wars where they're all I forget what they're called, but I forget their names, but like there's a bunch of Clone Warriors that you get to know, and then at the end of it they're all going to be turned against the Jedi, and they're just going to become like drones, basically. It's really sad, So
I want to know a little bit more about the whole phasing from clone troopers to storm troopers.
Right. They human troopers, basically.
Regular. They started recruiting them all. And then
I guess they kind of put in The Force Awakens. There's a little bit of a line about like how they train them, they kidnap them, basically. They train them from childhood. And all that kind of stuff. And then, in the last one, which nobody cares about, they meet some ex-stormtroopers who like escaped and kind of became just kind of whatever,
Yeah, which is nuts though, because like if they're being trained that gnarly, they still can't shoot for fucking shit.
Yeah, man. Like who's training these people?
Who is training these things? Dude, that's nuts. Yeah, it's like the whole. I don't know. I feel like shooting blasters can't be that hard.
Yeah.
Like, you kidding me? Like your points. Yeah. As you can even see the laser. Like when you're shooting guns, you can't see where the bullet goes, right?
Yeah.
It's unless there's an impact there.
I thought
splash.
I would think that in the future past, like they'd have like targeting.
Yeah, aiming systems.
Yeah.
That are like unbelievable.
Yeah.
There you can like shoot the off a honeybee from like 200 meters. You're just like.
Those are the special forces, the black troopers in Rogue One.
What are the Death Troopers or something?
Yeah, the ones that the Death Star
architect
guy has.
Yeah, and it's like, if you think like Vader's bodyguards would be like crazy nuts too, and no, they all get schwacked.
I want to see the Emperors. I don't know if there's any. I'm sure there must be books about them or fan films, but the red dudes with the red hoods and the staves, I would like to see them go to town. And then we obviously
don't they do that in the Last Jedi? Don't they do that kind of?
Well, those are Snoke's guards, and those are his like elite guards. But then they get taken out by a dark Sith and then a not Jedi. So.
Yeah, so they can't be that elite. Yeah. That's like a big army pogue whooping the shit out of a CAG guy. Yeah. Like out shooting him, like everything.
It's all right, guys. It's okay, guys. We just hate women. That's the real reason.
No.
Why we're mad about it.
We love you.
No, we love women.
We love it.
I'm making fun of the people who would be making fun of us.
Yes. But you're doing a great job.
Just to be clear. You're going to take... I mean, it's too late. I already said it, so it's going to be clipped and taken out of context, and then I'll get canceled.
Yeah, that's fine. Good thing there's two of us. I'll keep us going, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Well, you want to get going with the game?
Let's do it, man.
Have we talked enough about Star Wars, or what? You got any last...
I feel like we could do 2 episodes just on
there's
Star Wars.
A lot. There's a lot about
Star Wars.
Hopefully
you guys we have helped to sate your desire for Star Wars on this very auspicious Star Wars day. We should have done we should do like a mini episode, because there's May the 4th be with you, and then May the 5th, which is like for the Sith day, May the 5th. I know, but it's May the 6th. That's what I'm saying. May the 5th is the Sith, So I know, Amy. I know that 5 comes after 4.
Okay.
But yeah, let's do the game, man. Do you got the game?
Man. Yeah, I got the game today.
Let's do it.
All right, you ready? Okay, so this game is just for you, Izzy. Since you're a big old Star Wars nerd and a nerd in general that we may never forget. This game is all about Star Wars trivia. So it's just straight up trivia.
Right on, man. Right on. Cool.
But it gets progressively harder.
Oh, man.
And there is no warm-up. So are you ready?
Jumping in, man. Season 2, my Season 2 vow to all of you is to be less self-deprecating when it comes to my own skills and abilities. So I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you out.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. And that's how I live life. Cocky shit. Okay.
Right.
Ready?
Yep.
So what is the name of Yoda's home planet?
Oh, my gosh. Wow, we're going.
These are hard.
These are really hard.
I'll be honest, Chris wrote this game, and I'm like reading these things, and I'm like, you're
dude, yeah.
Talk about way to like build yourself up.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I'm gonna do great. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, if you get one of these, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's sick, man.
Oh man. Hey, you know what? You can still be confident and be wrong.
Yeah,
I know. So that's we see people
fake
do it every
till you
day
make it every
in
day.
Pop culture. Fake till you make it. Yoda.
Yoda's home planet.
Oh man. Do you know this, Amy? Oh my gosh. Don't look at me like, well, it's obvious. Oh, what, you don't know this? Psh, I do this in my sleep. Let's see. I'm just going through all the names that I know of different planets,
Yeah, dude, this reminds me of when I was a kid. I was really into Bionicles, and by really into Bionicles, I just had a bunch, and I knew nothing about them. So my mom took me to like a toy store that had like Bionicle meetings, and they would all talk about the lore and everything, and they would all I said was, the red one surfs on lava the entire time. And they're like, you need to shut up, kid.
Well, this is my red one surfs on lava moment, Cam, because I have no idea.
Okay, so the answer is Dagobah.
Wait,
Dagobah?
what?
Dagobah? Is that how you say it?
Dagobah is not Yoda's home planet.
That's what Chris put in here.
That's where he went to hide when they went into hiding. That's where he's from. He just went back to his hometown. Like the Empire couldn't. Like, well, where would he go?
Yeah, I just
Would he
googled
go-
Yoda's home planet.
What's his home
Dagobah.
address?
There is some
Dagobah.
stuff in the books that explains
Oh.
what
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, he
Well,
already
hey,
had like.
I can't be
cottage
mad
there.
at that because I do appreciate the books and I don't like the idea of canon. So, hey, I'm gonna have to take that one on the chin.
But
Okay.
I'm also not going to look at you anymore.
Dagobah. Okay. Ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
All right. C-3PO is fluent in how many languages?
4 billion.
Oh, okay. Not that much. You're
Oh,
giving
4
him way
million.
too much credit.
4 million?
A little bit more.
3 million.
No.
Oh, 5 million? 6 million.
Add a zero.
Out of what?
Add a zero.
Add a zero.
60 million languages.
60 million?
I guess he says that when he's like,
Oh, he says,
my name
"I
is
am
C-3PO.
fluent
I'm
in-"
fluent in 60 million.
I didn't know he said 60 million forms
Does
of
he?
communication.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a lot.
We're gonna have to look that up.
And yeah, you can fact check us at home there,
Yeah,
but
fact
don't
check us,
text
folks.
but don't text and drive. So
Yeah, don't text and drive.
don't text and drive. But yeah, allegedly that's what Chris has here.
All right, man.
That's crazy because I'm going back to like we're saying it's an entire universe and
Yeah.
we're stuck to these characters. 60 like there's 60 million races or
Yeah.
you know
60
think
million forms of
about
communication.
forms of communication. Yeah, that's
A lot of
nuts.
different dialects in there too.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. What is the rule of two?
Always two. There are the master and the servant, a master and the learner. That's the Sith rule of two. There's only two: a master and his learner stuff. Like, that's when they get into trouble. When somebody's got to get killed or somebody's got to usurp. Like when the learner gets like a student, he's got to kill. Like that's the rule of two. Is Sith. It's a Sith rule.
Yeah, okay. So I'll give it to you. So this is Chris put here. There can only be two Sith Lords at one time.
Oh, okay.
But I like your answer. That makes sense.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll give it to you.
Cool.
Good, man. Nice.
I got one.
All right,
One
we
for
got
free.
one. That's all that matters. All right, next one. What was the first location on which the Death Star's destructive capability is tested?
Alderaan. We shall have to test this. What does he say? This destructive forces on your home planet of Alderaan. That's where Princess Leia is from. Well, that's where she grew up.
Wrong.
What?
What? Dude, I'm just reading the thing. It says Jeddah.
What? Oh, okay. This is from Rogue One. It said they did a 10% power burst, and it blew up like a quarter of the planet. But no, I guess that's true. That's a Rogue One question. So yeah, it's Jeddah.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm glad you can analyze that,
Yeah,
and I realized
Alderaan was the first planet that they blew up completely.
completely.
Yeah,
And
okay.
what was the first location on which the Death Star capability is tested?
Is tested, yeah.
There, it's
Jeddah.
all in the grammar. It's all in the
it's
verbiage.
wording, yep.
Yeah. Okay, next
All right,
one.
man. I got one
Well, I mean,
last
you know way
chance.
more than I do, so. And there is 8 questions here, so.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm happy. I got a bunch more chances to
yeah,
fail.
you got a lot of chances, man. It's good. All right, what is the creature that lives in the garbage compactor of the original Death Star called?
Called?
Yeah.
Oh, brother. Boy, it's funny because that might have been in the Super Nintendo Super Star Wars because you do fight it.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not going to try to flounder around. I don't know.
The answer is Dianoga.
Dianoga?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
D-I-A.
Almost like Dionysus, the god of wine and partying.
All I know is that that thing that they try to hang on when they're in it, that is part of a ship.
Oh.
Yeah. What's the starfighter? The one that Mando gets in the new one, in the Book of Boba Fett. It's got like a V12 in it.
It's a Naboo fighter.
Yeah, Naboo fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen the picture of that? It's like the stem on the starship is like what they're hanging in.
Oh, what they're
like
using?
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
They're like, so that's what that thing was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
also
why.
one of the it's a dice thing. It's like I don't really care that that's the part. That's like fan service lore.
Oh yeah, no, it's
nobody
like
cares.
that's like that looks familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What does TIE fighter stand for? TIE fighter.
TIE fighter. Oh man, that stands for something. Gosh.
I guess so.
TIE TIE fighter. TIE TIE fighter. Does it have something to do with the shape of it? Like the reflectors on each side. Dude, these are hard, man. Chris, you darn you to heck for your horribleness towards me. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It stands for Twin Ion Engine.
Twin Ion Engine.
The TIE fighter, yeah. Twin Ion Engine.
I can
That's
honestly
kinda
say that in the history of my 41 years on this planet, I have heard that, It's just I can't remember. I couldn't remember it in the course.
Well, that's surprising, man, because I've never heard of that. I didn't even know what a TIE fighter was. I was like, oh, it's the little ball-looking ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at on it.
Little ball with two things
Yeah,
on
ball
the side.
with two things on
Little
it.
H fighters.
Yeah, TIE fighters. Okay.
All right, man. Hey,
all right, two more.
Well, one for 8. So
Okay.
1 for 5.
You might get this one. On what planet did General Grievous die?
That would be Geonosis. Yeah.
You sure?
Man. Well, it's the rock planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say Geonosis. That's the only name that's coming to mind.
Okay. It is, in fact, not Geonosis. It is Utapau?
Utapau.
Is that how you say it?
I mean, it doesn't sound like Geonosis, so probably.
Yeah.
It's not the right. I didn't get the right answer.
Well, at least you gave an answer, and that's what counts.
Right.
So, man, last one.
All right.
Here we go. Good luck. What approximate odds does C-3PO give Han for successfully navigating the Earth? Chris, fucking live, dude. Come on.
6,427,000 to 1.
3,720 to 1.
There you go.
Yeah, and they did it.
They did it.
With those odds,
Never tell
you're
me
crazy.
the odds. Yep.
We're done with the odds. Okay, man. Well, hell, you got one of them.
Yep.
Which is super cool.
Folks,
these questions were so hard, and if you answer them correctly at home, go play outside.
Go
do some exercise.
Write me an email and tell me where I can find all this information.
Exactly. Literally. Yeah, that's some lore stuff, man. Well, you did better than I would have done, so yeah.
I got one at least.
I know, dude.
Now I just need to go watch more Star Wars.
Yeah, you need to commit more time.
I have to do.
More time and resources to something that's not going to give you anything in life. Okay. Well, folks,
that's it.
That's the end of Season 2, Episode 1. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a good time sitting here talking about Star Wars. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let us know by shooting us an email at pcfmpodcast@gmail.com, just like we said in the beginning, because that's why we put it in the beginning, so you guys to do that. But yeah, man, I think this was a good episode. What are your final thoughts, Izzy?
Final thoughts. I'm ready to do this again, man. I'm ready for the podcast to take us to new heights.
Exactly.
And we're glad you guys are with us. So
exactly. Stand by for some super cool merchandise we're working on. Stand by for some a new website, possible Patreon. We're gonna do it. We're gonna full send it this season.
Let us know what you like. What do you want to buy?
Exactly. Let us know. And with that,
cue music.